So I'm here with Garth Bonzaya, and Garth is a client or a used to be ex-client of Joash Naidoo. And the reason why I wanted to have an interview with him is so that we can have a one-on-one discussion on the workings, the inner workings on Joash Naidoo, because Garth was one of the first people that commented on my YouTube and said, but everything is not as rosy. Now, after that, a lot of other people have commented on my videos, hinting me towards Joash's side. But obviously, I was like, nah, let me go to you because I know you, and I know that you are a part of this, and you wouldn't like so much just stop anything. Um, so yeah, introduce yourself. Tell us what you do. Tell us how you got to know or got to know about Joash's services and how you joined, and ultimately how you
Uh,
found it. We'll get through some questions that the people have for you, but yeah, just introduce yourself and let us know how you got into his services.
okay, so I'm Garth Bonzaya. I'm a fitness instructor, personal trainer, as well as a Herbalife independent distributor. And then I also do trading on the side. So, you need to have several streams of income. And how I got into trading is actually through Rydell himself and my brother. As they used to trade about 4 years back, they started, and about 2 years ago, I started. And it was just something that I saw. I got the niche of it, and I was like, yes, this is good. And then slowly after some time, I started getting to know the influencers within the trading community on Instagram. And Joash popped up, and he was doing really good. And we were like, yo, this guy's really good, and his signals are really cheap. It's only 700 rand. And you're thinking, okay, let's try this because it's better than the 2,500 rand that other people are asking. So got these signals, and yeah, that's how I got into it, and how I actually got to see that what I'm seeing on Instagram, at least with him, I can't speak for other people. It's not all what we see. I think Instagram hides a lot, and that's all that I wanted to speak about.
Okay, so um, that to me is really the beginning story of so many people, because that is also how I would come across these traders, and you would see that they are doing well, they're driving this car, they're driving that car, they are living in this suburb between this and that exclusive people, but everything isn't as it seems. Tell me, when you started taking his signals, were you shocked at the results of it? Because when I look at his Instagram, it would be just majority wins, 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 just blue screens.
So, what it looked like, this is what happened. So when Instagram showed me this picture on Instagram, say for instance, he entered a buy. What you would see it go up, um, and then you'd see profits. Okay, but you don't see all of this. You see all of this, but you don't know where it really entered. And you see entries right at the bottom, and you see entries right in the mid, and you see entries right at the top at the break of resistance. And then you think, wow, this guy's giving me that bottom entry. However, the very top entry is usually his very first entry. And then that drawdown that you get there, that is actually when he goes, okay, guys, entering again, adding more buys, adding more buys. So as he's in loss, he adds more buys. That's a difference between what I saw on Instagram and what I saw being in his group. So yes, I see big profits, and yes, his trading works for him. But what worked on me was when I was in the group, and it shocked me. It was okay. Can you really? Because he says you need a 1 cent for every 1,000 rand. That is his risk
Mm.
management. And when I got into a trade of his and I actually hit a drawback, I realized, whoa, okay, I don't think this is true. This doesn't seem to be true because the account's blue. So there was a big shock in that, because being a trader myself, even some of the things that he would do, so like some of the trades that he would take, I would be like, okay, what is this? There's no price action here. What? Because I've watched him say, I don't use He doesn't use what you call it, the indicators. He doesn't use trend lines and stuff. He just uses a naked chart, and that's how he trades. So I was like, okay,
Sure.
cool, price action fundamentals. Let's see. And his advertisement was 700 Rand, and then it says 78% to 90% profits, having a chance of winning. Proper risk management, pro signals. Like these are the things that he's advertising, pro signals. And then he said as well, like he said, risk management, proper like losses. So you knew, but I mean, I've seen your signals. I'm in your signal group, okay? So for people that don't know, he has signals. We're used to, and he's very good at what he does. And what I've gotten from you was, for instance, I've gotten a more professional signal from you than I have ever from him. I'm a trader, so I need to know, okay, at the break of this, then there's a stop loss. At least then I know, okay, I've calculated my risk. There's a risk management. When you send a trade, you send your analysis in the beginning of the week and say, guys, this is the charts. This is what it looks like. These are my thoughts. This is what I'm going through. And I'm expecting the market to go year or year if it breaks year or year. With Joash, you get sent signal by Nasdaq now. And then there's no stop loss. There's no take profit. So you don't know where you're going to take profit. You don't know where your stop loss is. You're just going on faith that this guy knows what he's doing because you see wins on his Instagram. And then you realize, okay, shit, where is this going? And then like for his 430 signals, what annoyed me the most is he takes 430 signals at 16:28. So he enters 2 minutes before market opens. Yeah, so what happens is a lot of people who trade 430 would know that if it's going to sell, it would be testing or buying. It would either test either a support or resistance at 430. I wouldn't have broken. It's about to test it. And at 2 minutes before, he says, okay, buy Nasdaq. And it's mostly buy Nasdaq. Because I used to make a joke. I was like, hey, this guy, he just says buy Nasdaq, and then he holds the drawdowns. Because it's a buying market. It's the easiest thing for you to do. Like, why is Nasdaq going to sell? Just press buy. So that's something I noticed. And the first time I noticed it was when he entered I was actually in Nasdaq for a sell, and mine confirmed on an hour chart. And while mine confirmed on an hour chart, he was in Nasdaq for a buy, and I was like, how are you buying when I'm selling on an hour confirmation and you buying on a 1 minute? So obviously I knew the risk to reward ratio. I was like, hey man, this could go anywhere. So those are the type of thing that he does. He enters early, doesn't wait for the he doesn't wait for confirmation for the break. Like for you wouldn't even enter on a 1 hour. You let it break and then you wait for confirmation candle. He doesn't wait for a break on a 1 minute and then say, okay, confirmation, or on a 5 minute and then confirmation. No, he enters before, and then there's no stop loss. And what was annoyed about it is like so when you go into profits with this guy, so if he gives you a trade and you go into profits like 430 and that impulse goes up or goes down and you catch it with him, he will tell you close after 2,000 profits. I mean 2,000 pips, which is 200 pips to some other people. That's stuff that I do on gold. I'm not expecting 2,000 pip movement on Nasdaq. I mean, I trade that on gold. You understand? Gold gives you that on a daily about. So when that happened, I was kind of being annoyed because you would let me go through a 4,000, 5,000, 10,000 pip drawdown. Say it's manipulation. Say it's market manipulation. Say what's his other thing he likes to say? The fundamentals are mixed. There's high volatility. So he would say that instead of acknowledging, listen, guys, I caught this trade wrong. He would rather go in that loss. And that drawdown that you see with all those perfect entries are those things where it draws down and he says adding more buys or adding more sells. And then it goes. And when it finally goes into profits, sometimes he even draws even. It doesn't even go back to his first entry. And then he just says, okay, guys, we made cash because the bottom load, the drawdown load, gave you that balance. So it pulled down, you went heavy into loss, you entered at the bottom, and it finally went your way. And when you got here, You said, okay, guys, let's break even. But who has an account to do that? So when you've got 1,000 rand and you go into that big of a drawdown, or 2,000 or 4,000, like some guy commented, then you can't enter again. You praying that your last bit of cash is gone. So those are the things that annoyed me, and those are the things of Joash that I'm like, okay, this is what I saw. This is what shocked me. And I came to a point where I was like, I'm not even going to go against this guy. Whenever he says buy or sell, I'm going to go the opposite direction, because his drawdowns in his trade give me more profit than his actual trade. Um,
Sure.
and that's annoying, because I mean, if you're a trader, if you know this thing is going to buy for 10,000 pips, why not give your people that 10,000 pips? He tells you close profits after 2 minutes. Um, and that's pretty annoying, because I don't call that trading. Like someone told me when he heard the story, he was like, "Hey, that sounds like gambling," and I was like, "Shit, it does." you
Someone
know.
someone actually commented the on one of my YouTube videos saying that he is a pro scalper. But he also said, the guy also said, don't get into his group. He's just a scalper. So what I wanted to ask you is, for how long have you been with his services?
That was just 1 month. It was 1 month, and it wasn't even for the whole month, because it was like halfway through after the first week. By the second week, I was fed up. And it was like, let's just give this guy a chance. Let's keep on watching what's happening in the group, because we paid for it. But it wasn't worth it. Like my brother would trade and make money on his own trading Nasdaq, because he is a trader. I told him, listen, we are traders. Why are we still
Mm,
taking this guy's
mm.
signals? Clearly, it's not this good. So let's just do it ourselves. And my brother made 1,000 rand quick, and then decided, okay, no, let me check Joash's 430 signal. I think it was a 430 signal he took, and when he saw again, bam, account is like halfway down there, and he had to restart. So, luckily he put in a stop loss by himself, and he only lost 200 on the deal or something. But that thing went so far into drawdown that it would have blown his account, and it was just like, yo, this guy's just letting flops, like it's not what we see on Instagram. If I had to give him 1,000 rand, that's my question. If I think you need to go back to your humble state, where if I give you 1,000 rand as you advertise, maybe you can have your big account, but have 1,000 rand account every beginning of the month. Start trading that 1,000 rand account and grow it with your entire group, and then take these risky drawbacks that you have on here, but leave this over here,
$100%.
because and so then you can actually sit, because I
You
don't
will
think he would
always be
make the
able to
money he's
trade then from a point of relatability, because you would know how your client with a little account feels, and
mm-hmm.
that because that is what I also feel. I also feel that these traders with these big accounts, they know the accounts are big, they know they can handle the drawdown, and they know they will get into profits. So then the the profit margin will obviously look fantastic. It will look like this guy just stayed, because normally when I look at screenshots, um, what first shocked me, because I always thought something is up there. I'm a guy for analysis. I Show me your analysis, and I'll be able to tell
Mm-hmm.
you what kind of
So
person
that
you.
I can see, or that I
Yes,
can
so
see
that I can
what you're
see where you're
thinking.
coming from. That's me, and I never saw analysis. And the other thing that I was looking out for was, okay, if there's no analysis, then this guy must be doing it from a software. But then he also doesn't promote any software, you know? And then when I saw it signals only, I was like, wow, this guy is good. Maybe he's just keeping his source to himself and just doing signals. But as time went on, obviously, people came forth, like you were the first, like I said. And then after that, people was just like, okay, do Joash, do Joash, do Joash. Let's talk about that. And actually, right before I got on this call with you, someone from that group actually texted me screenshots and stuff. And in the one screenshot, he said, okay, so you just care about promotional material from your clients instead of answering their questions. And I was checking to myself, like, is it really that bad? But now I have you here, so you can answer that. Is it really like that? Because my point is just this, and the thing is, I also saw um a post on his account that talks in the line of small accounts, right? Almost making it seem like small accounts will survive with him. And then back in the comments, I was checking to myself, but why? No, man. Why would these people say that their accounts are blowing and you are advertising a small account that just blew up? I don't understand. So is it really that bad? Did you
I,
let me ask you this. How many times did you deposit and how much money did you deposit with?
so I didn't deposit a lot because I wasn't willing to take the risk at first. Like I watched this guy in the first 2 weeks, for instance, and I not the first 2 weeks, the first 2 3 days, sorry, before I took a signal, and I watched him, and I was like, okay, no, I'm not going to put in a full amount. Okay, I'm gonna test the waters and see what the drawback looks like, and see how his trading goes, how far is it gonna go up. I'm going to risk. So what I risked was a 400 rand. And out of that 400, I got a 280 out of it. That was 780. And then I traded with that. And in one go, that entire 780 was gone. And that was a 8,000 pip drawback. No, that was a 5,000 pip drawback, I think it was. I think it was a 5,000 pip drawback. And then I was like, okay, maybe that was just with me because I've been seeing winning trades this past 2 days. And then account blew, and I thought, okay, let me do this again. Let me put in the minimum again and check what happens because I got profits in the beginning. And then while I was doing that, the guys next to me were sitting with bigger accounts, over a K in the account. And we took the same trade one day and boom, account blew. And I had a small account, and my nigga had a big account, bigger than me, 3 times bigger than mine, but his account blew, and my brother's account blew, and it was like, oh shit, because he was saying holding, and obviously you paying this guy to, so you're trusting him,
Yeah.
um, and then I was just like, okay, that's what was my final straw. I think I invested twice, and I was like, no, I've lost so much, I'm not gonna do this, and then I stopped, and my brother continued. Like I said, he traded on his own, and then got a big capital, and decided, okay, let me try this guy again with more money in my account, and then blew that account, and he was like, okay, no, not blew it, but with lost, and then he was like,
You
no,
lost a considerable
and
amount, yeah.
yeah, and then you were like, okay, no, it's not worth it, because if he didn't call it quits, he would have blown his account, and it was like, okay, it's not worth it. I think guys, to be honest, guys with over 3K, I would say about 3K in the accounts in the beginning, you can go trade with Joash. You will make money. You put in a 1 cent on a 3K, you go and you make 250 rand, 400, 250 rand, 400 at most, 150 to 400 rand per 1 cent you will make, because then he will tell you, unless you want to hold, when he
Mm,
says pull out and you keep holding, you might make more money,
mm.
but he won't ever let you go that much into profit and say, keep your cash. He will tell you close. And so that is what I can say from my point. I don't trade with a lot, because I believe if you know how to trade, your risk management you shouldn't have to have that much money in your account. I mean, I've taken gold. On gold, I've taken 70 rand to 1,000 rand. I've done it a couple of times with 100 rand. And so for me, it's not about um, how much money do you have in account. It's about how good are you analyzing the market at the time, and where do you enter, and then where do you put your stop loss, so that you don't blow what you have, because you're able to
Right,
manage that. You're able to say,
right.
okay, I only have a 400, but if I enter here, there's only 150 pullback. That's 1,000 per pullback, 1,500, and that's the most pullback you should be wanting to expect on Nasdaq. If you analyze properly, is up to about 2,000 pips, because anything more than that, and Nasdaq is pushing into the other direction for a while. So you don't want Nasdaq to go. Oh, I mean, I've seen a Nasdaq signal from you, and I think you had a 1,500, 2,000, because you hardly ever enter Nasdaq. But when you did,
Now
it
I
was on a
don't do what
1 hour
other
chart.
people do.
Yeah, it was on a 1 hour chart with like a 1,500, 1,000 pip stop loss, and you could already calculate before you entered. Okay, I might
Exactly.
just take this trade because there's that much. But that's what I'm talking about. It's not like I don't want people. A lot of people going to be watching this, and this is why you entering with little cash. It's like, why are you advertising that we can enter with little cash? Why are you
That
saying that you that good?
that is
You
the main
see,
thing. Advertising has become so tacky and so tasteless within this industry. That is why um it's crazy to me that no one is calling these people out that they are advertising that you can come with these, because to me it is straight off like, if you if you can let people make money with a 25,000 rand account and a 25,000 rand only as your minimum, then mention it. You will get a certain
mm,
clientele. If
there
you
we go.
mention, okay, you're gonna need say 10,000, 20,000 rand capital to start with me, just for that first few drawdowns, sure, people will understand that. But now, if you market your service to say that, okay, you can come with 700 rand, which is what you did, right? After
Mm.
that
Yeah.
profit piece, like you said,
So fit that
um,
was, yeah.
and make something, because that is what I saw on his on his Insta. And to me it was just like, when people started complaining, it was just like, no man, don't tell me this guy is also milking the
It's
people.
smoking. I
So
think at
tell
this
me,
point,
how many people? Okay, I have two questions quickly before we go to um the questions from the people of the channel. Um, Number one, how many signals did you receive a day? And number two, um, how many people was in his group?
okay, so that's also a problem that I have. I do think at this point he's milking the people. Okay, maybe he never, because apparently he used to go live, he used to send videos of his analysis and stuff. But at this
Mm,
point, it seems to be milking because I never saw any of that in
mm,
any for the past month in any post. When I started, there was 1,000 people in the group, and then it went up to 1,300 by a week, and then 1,600, and at the end of the month it was 1,900. I think it was between 1,700, 1,900. And
damn.
he's charging each person. Yeah, he's charging each person 700, so he's making about 1.3 million. But yeah,
Yo,
so that's just of
like
signals. Yeah, that's just signals.
for me, let me tell you, sorry for like jumping in there. What made me, when I look at his profit margins, right? This guy would post insane profit margins on a daily. When I would
Mm,
look at that, and at that video where he's like, okay, it took me 6 years to buy this GTR. But if you just count what he did for this year based on what he posted on his Insta, you will see that he made probably half of that car's money in a flash. But to me, it's like, ever since I uploaded my video that ousted traders that trades with fake accounts, I do not trust easily anymore, especially if it is someone that recommends you to go to a broker.
mm, mm, mm.
And because that to me is already suspect,
Yeah,
why would you explicitly tell someone, and not just explicitly, repeatedly? It's like, per me there. This is my broker, recommended broker, recommended broker. This is my broker. And to me, that was just sus. Like, it honestly could have maybe taken 6 years to buy, the car, honestly.
mm,
But um, when I look at that profit margins, my bro, to me it's just like yo, something isn't right there. So
Yeah.
I was gonna say, let's jump to the questions from the people on YouTube quickly,
Okay,
and
okay.
then
But before you get that, I just want to answer your last question. You asked how many signals we got. I'm not sure if that
why?
is a question by the guys, but we were supposed to get 1 to 2 signals a day. You were supposed to send US 30 as well as Nasdaq. Most of the trades you'd get is a 5:30 trade in the morning between 5:30 and 7. He would send you a Nasdaq trade. I don't know why that time, but that time he sends you one, and then he sends you one at 4:30. If you are lucky, you will get the other trades he takes. So he still takes trades in between. He will send you, just took a US 30 trade, but it's too late to enter. And he sends you, he puts profits on Instagram. So that's kind of annoying
Dude, I saw that
because he doesn't.
screenshot now.
Yeah, he sends it. He does it twice. He does it like twice a day, at once to twice a day at least. And one day he traded and he lost. He finally accepted loss because Nasdaq said, "I'm gonna give you a hiding. If you're gonna keep on entering and holding, entering, like adding more, and holding. I'm gonna give you a hiding because I'm selling and you are buying." And then he finally took the loss. And then he said, "Guys, we're going to get back." And when he said we're going to get back, he gave us a trade, but then he told us, "Oh, by the way, this is an extra trade for the day. You weren't supposed to get it." I'm like, whatever trade you take, 1 to 2 T
Yo,
signals, that doesn't matter. You need to send that because your signals aren't like if you see a breakout, that's when
yo,
you send. Like I've never told myself, and this is what got to me. And I'm sorry I'm going off topic, but you only send that many. But it's not about the amount of signals you send, but about the quality of the signals you send.
why?
And I'm like, you don't send at a time. You tell people I'm sending you at 5:30 a time. You understand 4:30 because 4:30 is a thing. It's the US Open, New York Open, but you can't do it at 5:30 because on what basis are you doing that between 5:30 and 7? Is that just because you
Mm,
want to get a
mm,
trade out in the morning and you can? I don't know what the basis is. Obviously, maybe it's the J Money strategy, whatever that may be. But that is what got to me. And it's like, at 12 o'clock, I see a breakout. And if I took that buy at that time, it broke that zone, I would have been so far in profit 4:30 even because, I mean, price action is price action. So even if 4:30 drops a bit or goes in the other direction, you can still say, "Oh, I'm still got it over here," instead of catching the buy over there or the sell
yes.
over here. I'm catching it when it was actually, and that's it. It gives you 1, 2 signals. One signal is good. We always used to make a joke. I'm not taking the morning signals because the morning signals, they was risky, and only taking 4:30. But
Why?
in reality, all of them were risky. So that's how many signals you sent, and some signals you would, like some trades you would take, not send you the signals and post it on Instagram as a win when none of us took it.
Hectic. Hectic. Ja, disingenuous. That is disingenuous. Fuck. Okay, so I'm gonna jump to the questions now. And the very first question comes from Joe. This is like this bruh started following my channel when it was like 20 subs. So I cannot skip this question. This bruh asked me, ask him what strategy Joash Naidoo uses. Also, how much money has he withdrawn from being in that group?
Okay, I have withdrawn nothing from being in the group. I've only put into Nasdaq. I've withdrawn nothing. I've honestly withdrawn nothing from it. I know friends that have withdrawn, so I can't. Like I said, I can't badmouth him. He
Mm,
makes
mm,
his
mm,
money. He just doesn't
mm.
make. He just doesn't make it for the client base that he says. And when you're lucky to get into profits, if you are in this group, guys, withdraw that same day. Withdraw because tomorrow you might not have that profit. At least you'll have a backup. Don't go re-enter. Rather keep that amount you initially invested and then withdraw your profits immediately because it's not certified with him. But yeah, so I've made no money. And then what was the question he had about him? first piece.
What strategy does he use?
I don't know. He called the J Money strategy. The J Money strategy. Whatever that is. And he says he
Yo,
follows
so he calls it the
price
J
action,
Money
and fundamental.
strategy, and then he
Yeah,
tells you guys he trades over a naked chart.
he takes a naked chart. Obviously, he can teach you.
Wow,
There's another payment
wow,
you make for him to one-on-one sessions. I don't know because I'm
that's
not
too
willing to pay for
much.
one-on-one sessions, but he gives one-on-one sessions, and he actually coaches people one-on-one coaching classes. We actually coaches people one-on-one, online or face-to-face, how to trade. So maybe they have the J Money strategy, but I've never gotten it. Just being someone in his signal group, I've never seen an analysis of him, so I can't say what his analysis are like. I can't think
Hectic.
what he's thinking. I need to analyze, and then at 2 minutes two, when he sends a signal, whenever he sends a signal, take a minute, because I know there might just be drawback in the next 40 minutes for the next 40 minutes. So I might just take 5 minutes and analyze and be like, okay, this is where you entered. This is what I see. Let me check any indicators if I need to, because like on NASDAQ, you can check your RSI, because that's perfect for NASDAQ. On a 1 minute, check your RSI, see it's oversold, and then check your Fibonacci if you need, whatever you need to do for it. If you're an
Why?
oscillator, moving average, whatever it is, do your thing. So that you just have extra backup. But when I look at his chart, I see naked chart, like he says he trades. No trend lines that I've seen, because he made a video and he says, guys, I trade naked charts and I use fundamentals. So I'm thinking, in my mind, he trades with the news, because he would tell you, okay, this and this is happening in the news, so it's going to be it's going to be heavy. It's going to be the most risky trade, high risk trade. All trades are high risk. There's never been a trade where he has never said high risk trade. Might go into heavy drawdown, might blow your account. Like this is an
So it
everyday thing that he
sounds.
sends you.
So it sounds like it isn't maybe like it is. It is bad, but it sounds like it's not like all that bad. There is some shining points there.
Yeah,
There's a guy.
like it's
There's a
not
guy
all
that is
bad.
commenting, Peter Ortman. He's asking you, can you be successful when taking signals from that man with a small account?
Depends on what's more for you. Like if 1,000 rand is more for you, then it's a risk. It's a 50-50 chance in the beginning.
Mm,
Like I said, I feel if you get over 2,000, 2,500, 3,000, I would say 3,000 rand. Then you can enter freely. You can put in 2 1 and make a nice profit. And then also, I'm not sure why, but maybe go join a different broker to what I was joining, because obviously I know my broker that I was at the moment when I did that was not the best, but the drawdowns were the drawdowns. You would save a bit on spread, maybe. That's why
mm,
you join that broker.
mm.
But 120 spread saving compared to with no commission or less commission or same commission compared to 1,000 pip drawdown. That 120 pips means nothing if you're losing 1,000, 4,000 pips, 10,000
Why?
pips.
Why?
So it doesn't really matter what broker you're with, but this is what I would say. You can on a small account, depending on what small is for you, and I would say small should not be 1,000 rand. By small should be 3,000 rand. Then I think you're good to go, and keep your risk very low. So be happy with making 250, 400 rand
Mm.
per 1 cent. You know, but also be willing to take 1,000 rand risk for that 250 rand that you're putting in there. That's the
Mm.
reality of it.
Okay, so I've got the question from Mpo also. Um, his question is: from what I have heard, some clients blow accounts because of how deep the drawdowns of the trades are. So ask him if there's any truth in that statement.
Like I just said, the drawdown, or if you can make more money. I would tell anybody, okay, guys, take a 2,000 rand or 3,000 rand, split it into two accounts. This is a challenge. Split it into two accounts. Okay, if you ever do take his signal, let the one go with every trade that he takes, and let the other one counter trade him and see where you make more money.
Hectic.
That
So you
that
want to DJ
it,
coach it, because that is also what DJ coach does. Yeah,
yeah. So
these guys are
I,
a bunch of gamblers.
I
Um,
would I
the
would
next
I would
comment,
I would counter trade.
The next comment is from Marcel de Cruz. Number one, his question is why so much drawdown on his Nasdaq signal, and I bet you cannot answer that because he's the signal provider. So Joash, if you are watching, yeah, Marcel wants to know why is there so much drawdown on your Nasdaq signals, my bro. And then number two, you can obviously answer this because you have taken it. Um, now, the second question is the truth behind is 78 to 90% accurate signals.
Mm, listen, like I said, I have to say this because guys are making 2 million in his group, okay? There are guys making 2 mil a day. So guys are packing money. Guys we don't know in South Africa. So a guy called
Mm,
Neo underscore SA, whoever he is, makes 2
mm.
million on Joash's trades. But he also goes through those drawdowns. So I can't say this guy's not making money because he's making money. Um, what I'm going is it's yeah,
So
I don't know.
basically,
Can you just
if
give
I
like
have to, if I have to, if I have to deduct what you are saying basically that he is profitable if you have a big account. Because if you have a small account,
mm,
that drawdown will smash you.
just your profits, you're not gonna make enough money to actually be in a safe zone ever. You know, you're gonna have to
Mm,
be there for a month or 2 weeks or every trade because we send you 2 trades a day, then by the end of a week you should be good. You see
mm,
that's my mentality. By the
mm.
end of a week you should be good. Um, depending on how far in profits you went. Like I said, you won't go over 400 rand unless you hold by yourself. If he tells you close and you close, then you're looking at 200 to up to what
Mm.
200. I said 150 actually, 150 to 400 rand profit on each trade. So yeah, you make profits, but it's not on
You must be
small
careful for
accounts,
that
man. Not on
drawdown.
that drawdown is gonna blow because I think at the moment that's a drawdown for me. Even my pluck is sucking talking about it because it's a really
So
it's like yo this.
we just have one more question left, and the question only Joash again can answer. So Joash, if you can answer, let me just get the guy's name. Kanyisa Amnisi wants to know why is it always market manipulation when it's clearly
Mm,
not? Joash,
mm.
if you are watching, please answer it in the comments. Why is it always market manipulation when it's clearly not? Now I don't know if he claims market manipulation, but in quick 1 minute, actually 30 seconds. Has he claimed that before? I see our timer is running out. Has he claimed that before?
Every day there's market manipulation. Let me just every day there's market manipulation or um, the
Did he?
fundamentals
Does
are
he say
mixed.
that?
Yeah, every single day you will say a high risk trade, fundamentals are mixed, market manipulation, high volatility,
Hectic. So
holding,
this, so this brother's
holding,
just
holding.
this brother's just throwing out every excuse in the book when he's getting a drawdown.
Yeah, it's never taking your losses, and that's what annoyed me the very first time. I think that's what got to me. It's that he's not man enough to say I took a loss. Hey guys, I'm sorry, I'm fucking with your money. Sorry for swearing. You must believe that. But
No, I
hey
am.
guys,
I
I'm
am gonna
messing
beep
with
it.
your yeah. Hey guys, I'm messing with your money. But you know, it is what it is. I took a loss here today. Um,
Hectic,
I think
man.
it works on him because he takes these trades he takes and he gets actual he does it really well. He doesn't send them to you and he lets you go through these heavy drawdowns and he doesn't accept his losses. I think there are certain parts of his character that annoys me. And what
Mm.
actually drew me closer to who he was as a person was the fact that he was a Christian. You know, he is a Christian. He posts about God every day and I can see the
Stop
blessings on in
falling
his
for the
life.
posts about God.
Yes. But listen to me. So I see that and I'm like, okay, God, I'm praying and I'm seeking God, let me support. But then I'm like, you are good at what you do and you're on the right road. I just want, and this is my personal message to him, is say, listen, Joash, I see what you're doing, but yes, people want to correct you. We're not saying that you are fake, that you are a scammer. We are just saying that
Mm,
you are making a few
mm.
mistakes and it's costing a lot
Yes.
of people money. And you are
Talk about
making
it,
over
because
a
we are not
million
calling
rand
this man a scammer. We are just calling him
or
out on what the
on
public doesn't
he's
know
giving
about.
the service, yeah, the service, and you're making over a million rand a month. You are well off. You don't even have to trade anymore because of the signals that you provide, and you only have to do it twice a day, according to your what you offer. So what I would like to put out to him is like, listen, have 1,000 rand account like you offer, and say, listen, I'm going to show you guys I built this, because that way you will show us to be wrong, and then have a big account that you do your trades on and you do whatever, and you make your 126,000 rand per trade, you make your 1 million rand, on a trade, or 500,000. Go for it, but don't forget about the majority of the people who's paying you, because the majority of the people who's paying you aren't these guys with 10,000 rand in their account, or 4,000, 3,000 in the account. There are a lot of guys with very little money in your accounts, and they are trading with you because you said they can have 1,000 rand, and they can't, because you don't give them stop losses, you don't give them take profits, you don't give them analysis. There are traders in your group, such as myself, who get annoyed and say, listen, I don't know what this guy's going on. I really want to give him the credit of a doubt, but he's not coming forth, and so therefore I can't stand for him. So I have to call out on him and say, listen, I need you to make right by the people, because you are affecting too many lives to be continuing the way you are, because people are suffering underneath you and you're just eating it up. You bought your father an M5, you bought yourself an M4, and you got yourself a GTR. I mean, you got that in less than 6 months, not well, in less than a year, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like, in the last month, I saw you buy 2 cars just off while I was in that signal group. And I can say one car comes from the signal group. Like that. That's what something you could say, but that's from me to him. It's like, get back to you need to go back, recheck your analysis, recheck the way you are doing things, offer the professional service that you say. Show us your analysis, even if there's no analysis. Draw zones. Show us your zones at least. So show us that you know support and resistance. Um, Show us that you know, because there is no price action in your analysis. And if you want to say that I am lying, then so be it. There are guys who can back me up, who've been in your thing, and I can obviously, with the screenshots, they might just be proof of this. But like I'm saying, guys, Joash, and to the rest of you guys, if you trade with him, be careful. Minimum 3,000 rand. One on 1 cent. And also, if you, that's for Joash, just correct yourself and get things back together, so that we all can win. Because if, like you say, you're a person of God, then serve the people right, and correct yourself where you are. Look in the mirror for a change.
Why? That's a message and a half that to that man. If you are watching Joash, please do respond. This is not a witch hunt. This is no one calling you a scam or anything. We are just highlighting the things that is faulty. Because personally, I have seen a post or two on your Instagram that says small accounts are winning, and evidently, when I look at what I've just heard from Garth now, when I look at some of the messages on the YouTube comments, and the thing is, you just go through my other videos and see the comments about yourself, and then reflect, because like with every other guy that's been on this channel that who I have made a video about, they can always come and be like, okay, that isn't like that, that isn't like that, that isn't like that. But just come forth at the end of the day, because like God said, there's a lot of people buying your service, and majority, or if we had to divide it, if we're going to keep it technical, at least 50% of your client base are, not to take anyone in the face, but are poor people looking to create a second income stream, because that is what most people are trading for. So
Especially during COVID.
especially during COVID, yeah. And one thing that I found, I expected so much more from the trading community, especially now that it is COVID times, because, like you said, this dude bought what, 3 cars in the space of 6 months. And
Yeah, like
I'm not
easily,
here to
easily.
police what you do
Mm,
with your
mm.
money or anything like that, but I don't see that many outreaches, not that it is supposed to be like that, because one thing that I would do is um I would go to the ghetto where I normally get my spinach, and then I would hand out the clothes that I don't wear to the people around there. I don't have to post it. I don't have to be like, okay, look, I just gave out 2 pair of Air Forces to this guy. I just gave this guy a pair of formal shoes. I don't, but it's also when you are posting for yourself and you are saying you are for the people, then you should at least come up for them. So thank you for coming on and sharing your experiences with Joash Naidoo. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure everyone else does. If you guys want to check out Garth, you can check him out at Garth Bonsai on Instagram, and at Garth Bonsai Fitness on Facebook.
It's BOONZAAIER. Just put it in the bottom.
And that's that, yeah. So thank you so much, Garth, and I will probably check in with you in the future when it comes to more scammers, because I'm sure you're probably going to join another group or so.
I'm
Do so,
done.
do
Like
so, do so. I will pay the
no,
fee,
I'm
do
not.
so.
They're gonna know me by this video now, so I can't even get someone else.
I'll speak to you
Yeah,
again,
but
guys.
we'll come up with something. Stay blessed, bro.
Away, away. Cheers.
Sure.